Hello, welcome back. This is Jacob, and today we are gonna be continuing the Let's Play for Reverse 1999. And no, you did not click on an older episode. This is indeed the episode right after the Broom story, so you're still on point and on track. But we need to jump back a tiny bit because we still have some unfinished business from last evening's on Earth. Specifically, the two character stories, one for Ulrich, one for Barcarola. I'm sorry, Fatutu. I am so sorry. We'll get around to do Fatutu's anecdote at some point, but this episode and the next episode will be for Ulrich and Barcarola, and then it's gonna be quite a lot of main story, but more on that later. Yeah, I'm very curious what Ulrich's story is gonna be about here, especially like we discussed back then when I was going through last evening's on Earth. He wasn't even playable back then yet, but he got the treatment of like a 6-star on a banner, essentially, so I am curious what this is gonna be about. I think some of you said some stuff about the story back then, but I'll be quite honest, right now I can't remember, because it's been a while. But with a name like From the Depths of Space, I'm very curious what this is gonna entail. But before we get to that, like I just said, last time we finished off the Broom story, and it was interesting. It was okay. Wasn't anything too crazy, quite honestly, from the story. I would say the two, when it comes to Broom herself, the two big parts about the story were Broom just sorta almost reluctantly accepting the role that she's now just gonna be a jewel hunter, apparently, and getting sorta to terms with it. Also, the highlight probably of the story, her and Felicien continuously bickering at each other. That will never get old to me. I don't know about you guys, I think you guys also enjoyed that from what I've seen in the comments over the last couple of episodes, but Broom and Felicien continuously bickering with each other is really a highlight between the two. It's one of those weird times where you can tell the animosity immediately between the two, but at the same time you just want to hear more. It just works. It just comedically kind of works between them. One of you guys pointed it out actually very well in the comments of the last episode that Broom and Felicien's relationship is pretty much that of a married couple that has been together for like decades and decades. It's so toxic the entire time through, but the two of them are so codependent on each other, and at the end it's been so many decades at that point in the marriage that you just think to yourself, what's the point in getting a divorce? Look, I hope they're gonna bring them back somehow in the story. This is gonna be one of those top pairs I hope they bring back in the story, because I just want to hear them more bicker at each other. Because it's just peak bickering. I love it. That type of toxicity in a story, that's what I enjoy a lot. Also, one of you brought or rather copy pasted the dialogue between Matilda, an instructor, and some classmates from chapter 3, which was the specific thing that we were going over and mentioning about Matilda not remembering some nursery rhyme that her grandfather was teaching her. Very interesting, honestly, to reread that whole thing, because the moment she tries to remember the melody, it kind of just fizzles out in her brain and she can't say it out loud. She even says that just yesterday she was capable of actually humming the melody, and now she can't. Very, very weird. Very weird. Again, as I said before, I wonder if that's gonna lead to something. Like, is there a specific reason why Beryl puts some memory restraint on her to not remember these specific things about her grandparents? Maybe she just doesn't want to have Matilda remember how her grandparents were at their worst, or something traumatic. I mean, her grandmother did die in a very brutal fashion, so maybe there's that, or something. Maybe Beryl saw something in Matilda's future where she just figured, okay, it's probably better if she doesn't know this. Like a Doctor Strange kind of thing of, I've seen 5 billion possibilities in the future, but this future where the rat presses the button, that's the thing. We'll see. I don't know. It's interesting. That whole situation is very interesting. Very shady. Very shady, but also very interesting. But on the topic of the last episode, one of you brought something up that was very interesting and technically had nothing to do with any of our main characters from the last couple of episodes. But Alura said, something I found neat in the character story is that the newlywed woman in Note 2 uses very similar wording to describe her dead husband as Heinrich does his dead friends all the way back in Note 20 of Chapter 6. In fact, one of the people Heinrich talked about matches the description of her husband perfectly. And you quoted here, "And Emmanuel, his husband was born to write poetry, but he was sent to the front and dug trenches until he died of disease." It's probably not a stretch to assume Emmanuel was indeed her husband, and I thought it was a nice way to subtly connect this character story with the circumstances of Vienna. Yeah, that whole thing was very fascinating to actually look from that perspective. I felt like something was familiar about that story, or something like when we were going through that part. I can't remember if I said anything. I think I noted something when the green feather thing came into into the forefront, when she mentioned something about someone with a green feather, which obviously is probably Arcania, but very interesting little connection if that's the case. Honestly, going through the whole episode, because I do obviously need to go meticulously through the episodes when I'm editing, because I'm doing some sound adjustments in the background, so everything is neat for for you guys to watch and listen to. But yeah, as I'm going through the whole episode when I'm editing, I did kind of thought to myself that it's very interesting that this specific woman got like very special treatment when she was presented. And by that I mean she got a full, even though it's a normal model, she still got a full Life 2D model in the scene together with Broom. Unlike the previous node where Broom was talking to like random 3 random dudes or 2 random dudes, I can't remember, plus the husband and the wife pair as well, none of them got actually any models, they all got just silhouettes. While later down in the story, we had a couple of other NPCs that came back, that had significance, like the father and the daughter, which, yeah, by the way, one of you confirmed that, yeah, the daughter in Delhi, that little girl is the same girl that appears in Beryl's story than in the Ural Mountains. I saw something, I can't remember the name right now, but yeah, it's the same person, just another, it's now a different timeline essentially. But yeah, that woman with Beryl and Car got a very special treatment, and that's probably her getting a model might have been probably the first big hint that, yeah, this is probably connecting to characters that were mentioned back in the main story, which is a neat little thing to bring into the forefront. And and yeah, Alura Yun, thank you very much for noticing that. That was very interesting little nod and connection. So yeah, thank you very much. But anyway, we have a character story to check out. So let's see what this is gonna be. From the depths of space, huh? Alright, you get a interesting menu. Pretty much like looking into a PC. Okay, laboratory. Oh god, there's gonna be enigma in this story a lot, right? Speaking of bickering characters that work well. Speaking of toxic, now we're gonna go back from toxic Yuri from the past couple of episodes to toxic Yaoi. Anyway, humanitarian management. Let's see. Preface, okay. Ward Rehab Center. The alarm indicators on various monitoring devices flash steadily. On the hospital bed, the rescued individual's breathing maintains a steady rhythm. He's still lost in a deep sleep.
Is he still in danger?
Oh no. No. That wasn't... That wasn't her brother, that was her. Oh god, why? Hi, we're back here, really? Freaking Hoffman jump scares, really? They really like to they really like to jump scare you with her. Okay. Just breathe, just breathe. Not for now. Adler's vitals have stabilized. Oh, he's on the bed, okay? It's a miracle. I've never heard of anyone surviving a fall from the 6th floor of a building. He didn't fall 6 floors. The railings in the Laplace corridor stopped him. What the shit? What happened? The investigator is meticulous. She won't allow such an exaggerated claim to be thrown out without rebuttal. What he did do is consume expired food and an excessive amount of alcohol, resulting in simultaneous food and alcohol poisoning. Why? Did he just pick randomly shit that was in his office because he never leaves it? Whether in mind or body, humans seem far too fragile in the face of the storm. He stops himself from speaking further, realizing a little too late how inappropriate his comment is.
You weren't wrong.
Fortunately, the patient's sister agrees. I'll help him quit drinking, but I can't say how long it will take for him to accept the new reality. I'll let him know you came by when he wakes up.
Would you also let him know why I came by?
Okay, this conversation is kind of insinuating that he started drinking and eating crappy food because he is trying to cope with the storm stuff. Maybe? He proceeds to formally state the purpose of his visit. Purpose of his visit. The LSCC has a backlog of encrypted internal research data, and most of the personnel who originally held the passwords and biometric verification information have already been reversed. Madame Lucy is gathering capable researchers to work on decrypting the files, and I came to confirm whether Adler would be fit for the task in his current condition.
No.
No, I'm afraid he's not fit to return to work at the moment. He still needs time to recover. I'll try to persuade him to join the cryptography team once he's recovered, but I'm just his sister. He doesn't exactly listen to me all the time. Thank you for providing me with this information. Ulrich carefully crosses off an item from his to-do list.
As you wish. I'll give you some privacy, Miss Hoffman.
Go ahead. Ulrich quickly leaves the ward. Corridor Laplace. The cryptography team's newest assistant meets Ulrich in the corridor and hands a printed document to him. Oh, is this... Oh no. Is this the girl that gets deleted when she says the words that appear in the monitor, on the monitor in chapter 7? I think I saw this model before, unless this is completely someone different. But she reminds me of her. Here's the monthly important file cryptography report. Thank you, Dora. Also, he slips another list from the folder and thrusts it at her. I found some new crypted files in Owen's office yesterday. Some of them have already been added to this week's to-do list. Please sync this up with the other members of the cryptography team on your way back. Oh my... What is that face? How much documents did he shove into your hands? This disbelief wells up behind her goggles, but like an arrow to armor, her feelings deflect straight off the cryptography lead's helmet. I must remind you, lead, that the team is already at their maximum workload. I've accounted for the additional work hours required from each member. It amounts to no more than 80 minutes per person per day.
Sir, this workload has begun to seriously interfere with our time off.
Okay, this chick has to be the one from chapter 7 that that got deleted. I won't be able to attend my work weekly cleanup for a mental clarity session. Not this again. You have a PhD and 2 master's degrees. You shouldn't be wasting your time cleaning windows. A flurry of rebuttals swirls in Dora's mind, but she knows that such things can be solved through direct communication.
I'm afraid I must bring this issue up with Madame Lucy.
You're overreacting, Dora. I stand by my rights. Uri feels a sharp, painful electric current course through him. Fine, I'll report on the team's workload to Madame Lucy right away and submit your complaint on your behalf. Thank you, lead. Finding no issue with having the subject of her complaint deliver it for her. Oh, this auto-scrolled. Dora leaves feeling relieved. Good for Dora. Despite Ulrich's unrest, the work report must be carried out in an orderly manner. In summary, the progress on processing the remaining encrypted data has reached 103.15% this month, slightly exceeding expectations.
I am pleased.
It is perfectly in line with theoretical projections. For a machine in line with theoretical projections is high praise indeed. Any other news to report? Ulrich lets out a heavy windless sigh. Come on, just say it. There is one thing. The cryptography team assistant Dora has filed a complaint against me. She believes the current work arrangements greatly exceed reasonable standards. Lucy nods. The complaint is justified. The cryptography team has been operating beyond humanitarian management standards for some time. Ulrich momentarily struggles to grasp such a term. Humanitarian management?
Mm-hmm.
Your confusion is understandable. This is, in fact, the first time I am putting this concept into practice. Based on my analysis of the operating procedures and current human resource situation at Laplace, I plan to implement a humanitarian management model. How should I understand the strategies of this new model? Perhaps an example would better illustrate it. For instance, would you like to apply for an extended leave from headquarters, Ulrich? What? The abruptness of this question leaves him dumbfounded. I'm sorry, I don't understand what you mean. It's quite difficult to conduct a conversation on humanitarian management between two parties, neither of which are humans to begin with. This conversation is freaking hilarious. Two non-humans essentially having a conversation about human workloads. Funny. Returning to the complaint, aside from the one you submitted yourself, I have received 27 similar complaints in the last week. Many of the letters came from your team members, and they all share a similar theme. The cryptography lead has failed to adequately consider the physiological needs needs of his organic colleagues. Almost 30 complaints in 1 week, damn! Ulrich anxiously ponders his response. I can reduce the working hours of my organic colleagues, but I can't adjust everyone's schedule to match the slowest member. I recommend ensuring everyone gets the 8 hours of sleep necessary to maintain good health. This does not mean, however, that the remaining 16 hours should all be used for work. I'll revise the work schedule according to your recommendations, Madam Lucy. The slit in Lucy's face flashes in approval. Now, on the matter of leave. I believe a proper and sufficient vacation will help you and your team relieve yourselves of excessive stress. You must understand, this is a critical element in implementing humanitarian management. But what about the rest of the encrypted files? You have successfully built a team capable of handling routine cryptography tasks independently. That deserves recognition, Ulrich. He raises one last concern. The next storm could occur at any time. Locations outside headquarters are unsafe. Your concern has been fully noted and considered. I can recommend a safe location for you, the LSCC's Plasetsk branch. According to our records, the geographical location of this branch has granted it the same immunity to the storm as headquarters. Not long ago, Ludwig assumed leadership there at my suggestion. He mentioned that a set of facilities has been established specifically as a safe retreat for the recuperation of staff members. Interesting. A familiar name. Ludwig. So he was transferred all the way to Plasetsk, was he? The decision to send you there has been made in consideration of mutual interests. I am sure he will understand. Yes, Madam Lucy. The Awakened finally surrenders under the banner of humanitarian management.
Fine, I'm taking a break.
Good for you.
Very well.
This will be a solid first step in the implementation of humanitarian management. Satisfied with her successful persuasion, Lucy continues. Good news. I have reviewed your work hour records, and your accumulated vacation time has reached oh my god, 999 days. In fact, the actual number may be greater, as early spreadsheets only allowed for a 3-digit maximum. Until then, I will leave it to you to decide when you return. Enjoy your vacation, Ulrich. Jesus Christ! Can you imagine working a job and your boss comes up to you? According to all of the minutes and sometimes hours that you worked overtime voluntarily, you have this amount of vacation time in front of you now. Holy shit. 999 days. Damn. Good God. That's a couple of years of I don't need to go to work. Anyway, a new friend. Okay, so this is gonna probably start the story properly, I'm guessing. Yep, part 1. Thanks to the jet engines and Bernoulli's principle, the distant journey doesn't take long to cover. I wonder if you're gonna meet some familiar faces here. Corridor Branch Care Center. The Plasetsk branch bears a striking resemblance to headquarters, a result of the rigorous standardization of the branch design guidelines set out by Laplace. Ulrich almost feels like he's in a dream. This place looks almost identical to headquarters. His admiration piques the host's interest. Okay. Yes, but unlike headquarters, we have more space, less work, and lower outdoor temperatures. It's a perfect holiday spot.
Welcome to Pleset's Retreat Center, Ulrich.
Come, let me show you around facilities. Actually, I need a lab to store my data. The receptionist lets out a stifled hum as he tries to grasp these words. Data? You mean you brought work here? Aren't you on holiday? I have to do something while I'm here. It is clear that he is already regretting this holiday. That one too. Holidays are for disconnecting from work, not taking on new projects. You have to understand that people work to live, not the other way around. He pats Ulrich's steel frame with unwarranted familiarity.
Play some games, sleep in, maybe have a chat with the others here. If you're lucky, they'll even be willing to hang out with you. That's what people do on a holiday.
Besides, your room hasn't been cleaned yet. This holiday checklist utterly fails to spark Ulrich's interest. I'll clean the room myself. Alright then, follow me, my serious friend. The receptionist leads Ulrich down the corridor and to the door of his room. And yep, we're using we're using the image from Enigma's room. As the door opens, they're hit with a heady stench. Ulrich immediately shuts off his olfactory input channel. Well, good for you that you can do that. Here we are, Ulrich.
It seems like a dumpster exploded in here.
Doesn't the Pleset's management protocol include regular cleaning of vacant rooms? Actually, it doesn't. It'll be best if you don't set your expectations too high, Ulrich. This was originally an abandoned administrative facility, remember? After Mr. Ludwig repurposed it into a recovery center, management was deliberately reduced to avoid disturbing the occupants. I can handle the cleaning myself, but I need a high-performance computer that meets laboratory standards.
But you're not on any projects right now, so it's unlikely they'll give you anything close to a high-performance computer during your stay here.
Get wrecked. A spark flares from one of Ulrich's circuits. Oh no. I'll submit my request, regardless of the outcome. With that, he steps determinedly into the garbage dump of our room and starts picking trash off the floor. A snack shopping list, a custom party light microcontroller, a pile of bizarre ergonomic keyboards, broken electronic music synthesizers, all of it should go to the warehouse. And this... Ulrich reaches for a small device on top of the storage cabinet. What the shit, my ears. An alarm pierces the room like a panicked scream. Uh-huh. The hell is this thing? What is this? I have no idea. Maybe a homemade circuit testing device? No, the craftsmanship is much too precise. The components are custom made. This is clearly a sophisticated instrument. Certainly not something that should be left unattended in a pile of junk. Could you check for any transfer records?
Just so you know, Ulrich, with these storms coming back like this, things have been falling by the wayside.
No one knows how many things we've misplaced over the years. How could we possibly trace where something you found in a pile of junk came from? All this work on systems and procedures, yet when you actually need to use the information from any of them, they're totally useless. The receptionist nudges Ulrich gently with his elbow. Don't overthink it. Just toss the thing. As if resisting its fate of being discarded into storage, the device blares its alarm once more. What now? Did I trigger a switch? No. Wait. It seems to be responding to our conversation. And the first time it sounded was when I accidentally touched it. You don't think... And these ripples on the screen, while I can't decipher their meaning, they may be conveying some sort of message. Could it be? Realizing a critical possibility, Ulrich carefully places the oscilloscope back in its original position. Is he thinking that maybe... Well, he's probably thinking one of two things. Either this thing is receiving a signal from somewhere and someone is listening in, or this thing is awakened.
It's an awakened coming to life all alone in a deserted office. You...
Yeah, exactly what I just said. He turns around only to find that the receptionist is long gone. Fine, I'll handle this myself. Left without assistant, Ulrich faces the dual challenge of social interaction and technical problem solving alone. Straightening both his attire and his back, he adopts a formal, courteous tone.
Hello?
Hello? This is gonna be the minigame, huh? Don't be nervous. That touch earlier was just an accident. Can you communicate in English? Hello? In Russian? Okay, I don't know if it's the same word, but I guess Croatian would be pozdrav? Beep beep beep. He's Morse coding, okay. Okay, hexadecimals? Looks like I need to start studying waveforms. Wait, it seems the signal is not properly connected. I need to guide the signal to the receiver first. Apologies, but I need to make some adjustments to you, Miss, Sir, or Alright, there must be components here to help me adjust the signal, like these deflection plates. Various interfaces will block off all signal transmission. Use deflection plates to alter the direction of signal transmissions and guide them to their destination. Drag and drop the components to place it, tap on a component to change the it's facing the okay, that's a typo. Tap on a component to change the direction it's facing. Okay. Sure. Use components to direct the signal wave to the receiver and activate the device. Tap here to view all components and their functions. Okay. Connected. Success. Alright, what does this give us? Yeah, still the same office. He gives one last wave to the oscilloscope, only to receive a series of erratic, indecipherable waveforms in return. It seems that it has not yet managed to find a way to express hello. Perhaps awakening alone in an abandoned office has caused its language functionality to deteriorate. Thank you for piercing my ears. The oscilloscope responds, or at least seems to. Oh, I didn't mean to belittle you. The display's waveform flattens into a straight line as the device shuts down completely. I suppose I deserve that. Before Ulrich can sink too deeply into self-pity, the receptionist reappears. Ulrich, stop what you're doing. The welcome party is about to begin. Welcome party? Time to socialize, buddy. A welcome party. Interesting coloring. Are they gonna go back and forth between the greenish tint back to the like brownish yellowish? Anyway, welcome party. Ulrich is ushered into a laboratory packed with computers. Damn, the thick smell of alcohol and an explosion of cheers fill the air. Idle Laboratory Branch Center.
Let's raise a toast.
A big welcome to our distinguished researcher from headquarters, Ulrich.
Is this really the banquet hall?
Yes. The floor and workbenches are laden with smoked fish, slices of red sausage, and unmarked bottles of vodka, all sourced from nearby towns. That's right. It's a reasonable use of public facilities, don't you think? Hardly. What kind of place is this for a party? Any spilled alcohol could corrode and short-circuit the equipment. Yes, but geometrically speaking, it's the central point of the facility. It's the closest place to everyone's rooms. That's the reasoning? I mean, practical, but okay. He extends a finger and traces dazzling geometric patterns in the air. Good God, more geometry. We've hosted a number of parties in this facility. Both experience and theory confirm that this lab is the most popular location. The eccentric logic of Laplace's scientists extends even to this remote branch near the Arctic Circle. I don't think this is a math problem. It's a systemic issue. Dining in the lab should be strictly prohibited. The equipment we have left is already dwindling. We can't afford to lose any more. Don't be such a buzzkill, Ulrich. This is your welcome party.
That's right.
That's right. We've always welcomed the newcomers. I'm Dimitri. That's Alexander. And over there is Elena. Oh, and there's Ivan. Ivan too, but he hasn't shown up yet. No use waiting for him. Let's have a drink. He holds out a glass of vodka spiked with chili peppers. Holy shit, combo. Come on, friend. Ulrich shuts off his olfactory function. No, I refuse to drink alcohol. Don't you have anything non-alcoholic? This question is met with a burst of laughter, akin to the howling winds of Siberia. You asked basically Russians. Do you have something non-alcoholic? Come on, buddy, come on. Dimitri gives Ulrich an overly enthusiastic pat on the tank. Only vodka can help people forget their troubles, my friend. Give it a try. It might work for you too. Dimitri raises his glass, leading the group in another round, but Ulrich still doesn't touch the glass in front of him. I never asked for a welcome party. Were these supplies purchased with the LSCC's budget? Dimitri answers his question with hesitation. To branch leader Ludwig, in order to host team leader Ulrich, alcohol and food have been purchased as follows. Please approve for reimbursement. That's it?
It all reeks of corruption!
The LSCC's funds should go toward researching the storm, not unnecessary indulgences. The party comes to an abrupt halt. What? This isn't unnecessary at all. That better just be a bad joke. I'm not joking.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, you're serious?
Here is the case.
We just wanted to lighten your mood, Ulrich. What a buzzkill. But I can't... Wow, he's getting booed out. A wave of shushing drowns out Ulrich's protests. Even the densest person could feel the shift in this room's mood.
I've had enough.
Enjoy your vodka and smoked fish. I refuse to participate in such a misuse of funds. Ulrich turns toward the door. The researchers quickly clear a path, their eyes following him as he swiftly exits the room. Yeah? That's Ulrich for you. Oh, I was about to say, is this where the node ends? Fair. What did it say? Does it even appear in this thing? No, it doesn't, whatever. Uri feels as though he's just knocked over a beaker full of liquid and spilled dangerous chemicals all over the floor. Though harmless to him, the mess leaves him irritated. Facing the snow-covered plain, he aimlessly watches the various black dots scattered in the distance. One of them starts to move closer, slowly taking the shape of a person as it approaches. A distant voice drifts over, carried by the cold wind.
Hey! Ulrich? Is that you?
Oh, is that the... First he notices a long coat, then... Oh, it is, okay. A head of silver white hair, just like the snow.
Windsong?
Yep. Soon the figure is close enough to engage in conversation. This is an unexpected meeting for them both. Yes, it's me. What brings you to Plasetsk? I'm on holiday. Are you? No, I'm working in a nearby mine. I just came back every now and then to restock supplies. This is a serious oversight. I should have visited you at the mine before I came to the recovery center. Forget about it. There's no need for formalities, Ulrich. Formalities? He clearly didn't intend it that way. What I meant was, if I'd visit you first, you might have warned me about how unpleasant the traditions here are here. She gives Ulrich a scrutinizing look, like a scholar studying a rare animal. Then, after a moment's thought, she comes to a conclusion. Her sudden chuckle leaves Ulrich baffled. What are you laughing at?
I see. They must have put you through hell with that whole welcome party.
They have a lot of voice lines in this story. This story definitely was given some extra care and love, huh? I mean, even bringing Windsong in for a couple of voice lines and stuff like that. Very interesting. Did you run out on your own, or did they kick you out? She shakes her head in resignation. No need to answer. It's the same result either way.
Indeed, couldn't be worse.
They called it a banquet, but it felt more like an excuse to drink to me. Culturally speaking, for this lot, banquets and drinking aren't all that different. Ulrich isn't swayed by such rhetorical dodging.
But we're Laplace researchers. It's our foremost responsibility to focus on theories, ideas, possibilities, and experimentation. That's where we must focus our time.
But now their minds are filled with nothing but alcohol. They're just trying to relax. That's what vacations are for.
That's not how I see it.
Of course you're not gonna see it that way. Before coming to Plasetsk, I read the schedules of some... Wait, what? I read the schedules of some mountain sanatoriums. They include activities like resting, gentle walks, and book discussions. Not one of them recommended consuming alcohol or high-sodium foods. Endless indulgence and escapism helped no one. She remained silent for a moment, long enough for the cold wind to suppress Ulrich's internal irritation.
Yes.
Yes, you're right. Giving up isn't the way to face disaster. But it isn't endless, as you say. It's not necessarily a bad thing to indulge yourself every once in a while. Ulrich can't grasp how removing the word endless would significantly improve the implications of indulgence and escapism. I know some of the people vacationing here. Most of them were either top students at prestigious institutions or outstanding professionals in their fields. In the past, they buried themselves in libraries and labs, leaving disciplined lives in pursuit of academia. But the storm turned them into lost souls, unable to hold on to their beliefs or face the new reality.
A complete breakdown of order may be just what they need to vent their fears. Then perhaps they will be ready to stand tall once more.
Exactly. I'm not convinced. Does this psychological therapy method have a solid theoretical foundation? Winsong shrugs. I guess it's more of an empirical approach. It doesn't deteriorate the diligence, rationality, and a sense of responsibility of the researchers. In fact, they usually come back with a vengeance. But personal experience is unreliable. There is no guarantee this method will produce results. Winsong lets out a soft, bitter laugh.
We won't always get the results we hope for. Yet, proving a theory wrong can be just as important as proving one right.
Her gaze shifts past Ulrich's shoulder to the building behind him. So, are you going back, or are you going to stay out here in the cold? Go on ahead. I prefer to stay here until all this nonsense is finished. Okay, buddy. By the end of this, you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn. Okay, yeah, it's going back to the brown one. Unwanted Noise. I hope it's not brown noise. Under the stars. Very descriptive, thank you. Nightfall comes early. Winsong already left about an hour ago. The welcome party should be over by now. Before the cool air can stiffen his joints, Ulrich heads back inside. I hope they're all so plastered. Just lying on the floor, dead. Corridor Branch Care Center. The banquet venue lies directly on Ulrich's path to the office, forcing him to pass by the geometrical center point. The raucous noise from behind the closed doors suggests the party is still at its peak. Evidently, the guests' excitement doesn't hinge on the presence of the party's guest of honor. Endless nonsense. He quickens his pace. Okay, back in his office, that he still needs to clean. The room is still a mess, and Ulrich isn't about to start cleaning it now. The oscilloscope remains in its original place. Alright, now we've got time to talk. Can you turn yourself on? Despite its connection to our power source, the oscilloscope remains unresponsive. Ulrich has no choice but to turn it on himself. The power switch wouldn't be placed among all these tiny buttons. Let's rule out this section. And it probably isn't on the front panel, so... Carefully feeling along the back of the machine, he finally finds a toggle switch. Success! Minigame time! Interesting. The output is a little different this time. I should probably summarize some of the recurring waveforms, otherwise they'll just be gibberish to me. We'll let a carbuncle in here. Oh! This is going to be fun. Catch it, everyone! Quick, get it! First to catch it gets this string of sausages. Damn it, who's running around in the corridor? Back to summarizing. It's not hard, but some of these signals are too weak for my liking. Fortunately, I borrowed a few signal amplifiers from the engineering team ahead of time. Best put them to use. Okay. When there are multiple receivers, all devices must be activated to obtain information. When there are multiple receivers, all devices must... Yes, game, thank you. When there are multiple receivers, all devices... Thank you, game, for the third time. For the fourth time. Signal amplifiers can boost signal waves and split them into two separate waves. Use deflection plates to direct the signal waves to the amplifier's input and see it in action. Okay. Okay, let's see then. Alright, I see. There we go, connected. Alright, buddy, what do we have? A festive time with friends aplenty. We talk of friendships. We talk of friendship and days gone by. Okay, they're singing. This is insane. Ulrich's train of thought is utterly derailed. Poor guy.
That's enough.
He's so pissed. Everyone, raise your glasses. Clearly no amount of shouting from the other side of the door will stop these partiers.
Stop it already!
No, they won't. No, they won't. Oh boy. By the time Ulrich has stepped into the corridor, all but one of the partiers have already disappeared. Ulrich, I thought you weren't coming back. Come, join us. We're catching critters. Though the little tags seem to have vanished. I need a better vantage point. Oh boy. Oh no. Don't jump off. Dimitri staggers over to the corridor railing and leans most of his body over the edge. Ulrich lunges forward, grabbing his shirt and yanking him back. Oh! What was that for? Ah! My carbuncle! My sausages! Damn you, Ulrich. This is all your fault. For Flux's sake, I saved your life, you drunken idiot! Well, I didn't ask you to save me. Even Ulrich could tell that Dimitri was mocking his tone from the welcome party. This is so funny. This whole thing is so funny. The logical guy with the illogical people that are also logical people. Unbelievable. This is a research facility, not your tavern. The next storm could strike at any moment, and here you are wasting away the time drinking. And what great world-changing research are you working on, Ulrich?
Lead us, O brave Emperor Ulrich, my liege.
Oh, he's not gonna continue that, okay. Lead us to invent the ultimate machine to weather the storm. Oh, is someone fighting? The commotion in the corridor has caught the attention of a few partiers. Great, it'd be a waste of this buzz without a good fight to watch. It's Ulrich. Oh, this is way more fun than chasing a carbuncle. A growing crowd surrounds Ulrich and Dimitri as their argument continues. Understanding the storm will require extensive theoretical work and many experiments, yes, but it is by no means an unsolvable global disaster. Experiments? What, like that piece of electronic junk you picked up from the trash? Junk? What junk, Dimitri? Be specific!
An oscilloscope. It was left in the office, and Ulrich thinks it's alive.
The crowd bursts into laughter. It's very funny that they would laugh about this stuff, considering Ulrich, being an awakened, who is technically a inorganic thing with a soul attached to it. Why would they laugh about that unless they're just so drunk that they can't take it seriously? You can't jump to conclusions. If you want to be a clown so badly, why don't you head over to the circus in Mirny and hand them your resume? Now that I think about it, your bulbous head would look perfect with a big red nose stuck in the middle. Good lord, that's perfect.
That's right.
That's right. And the circus should still be in town. You'd be just in time.
Enough!
Damn, he's so pissed. All caps lock. His shout cuts through the mockery like a knife. I have attempted to communicate with you in a normal, reasonable way. Now I see that was a huge mistake. Huh?
Just when I thought perhaps my fellow Laplace researchers might be able to take their responsibilities seriously and not behave like imbeciles, you go and prove me wrong. Shut it! The world would be better off if the storm took you all!
Oh, no, buddy, you did not say that just now. Yeah, they're gonna be speechless. Yeah. Are you serious, Ulrich? Ulrich says nothing, turns around and locks himself in his room. Did I hear that right?
That's too far.
What gives him the right to say that?
Leave him to his tantrums. Let's go. He'll never be one of us.
No, but he can at least understand you guys. Which is probably what this story is gonna amount to. Him getting to understand how humans think and do. Because he has definitely trouble seeing that. A lot of trouble seeing that. Alright, let's see. No More Idelness. Oh, this is a different space. Office branch care center. Unless this is the place cleaned up, supposedly. Months pass, or is it years? Aside from moving to a larger, cleaner room, Ulrich's time at Placidsk hasn't changed much. Okay, he's in a different room. The long-abandoned oscilloscope has been placed in the new room. It sits next to a lukewarm cup of coffee. He definitely presses a couple of buttons and twists a few knobs. What's on your mind today? Oh, that sounds like Morse code now. Ulrich has now mastered the external controls of the oscilloscope. He has never once considered opening the casing to examine its internal structure. There is no new information. All I can do is replay historical data. I've already compiled all the recurring patterns from the waveforms. All that's left are a few incomprehensible fragments. I think I'll need a larger sample size if I'm ever to decode them. More minigame. He picks up a well-worn transcript from the desk. Notes from a lecture on linguistics by branch leader Ludwig. Some parts of the lecture seem to point him in the right direction to deciphering the oscilloscope's signal, or perhaps they point to somewhere else entirely. Linguistic rules, including grammar and lexical concepts mapping patterns, are largely established through social consensus, commonly known as convention. Chaos and randomness are fundamental characteristics of natural language. Likewise, language is inherently narrow and biased. This means that the utility of language is limited by the cognitive level of its users. Yeah? Makes sense, yeah? Patterns and chaos coexist. The oscilloscope's signal patterns match the linguistic traits Ludwig described. Past experiments have also proven that the oscilloscope doesn't react to environmental variables. Memories of his past experiments bubble up in his mind. Memories of carrying the oscilloscope around the facility and enduring the stares of others as if he were an alien. Which proves it isn't some kind of monitoring device. No, it's definitely actively transmitting information. But with the current sample verity, I can't verify my hypothesis any further. Alright, knocks. There's a knock on the door. Hey old friend, are you in there? For a scholar often out in the field, her visit is unusual. Winsong, come in! She steps in and places some cheese and caviar on the desk. Thank you. but I have no use for these. Alright, then I'll give them to someone who does. She promptly takes the gifts back. Any progress with the oscilloscope? Nothing substantial. Are you here to take a break? A flicker of surprise crosses Winsong's eyes. No, the storm is coming. I'm here to take shelter. You should have received the alert by now, too. Ulrich seems to take a long moment to process the urgency of this global disaster.
Ah, yes, of course.
He sinks into a somber mood once again. Hey, Ulrich! Hmm? Why are you just sitting there in silence? What are you thinking about? In less than 12 hours, the outside world will be reversed. Is there anything in this era you've left undone? Ulrich remains silent, unsure of how to respond. Oh, but this thing is responding. And after the storm, are you planning to end your vacation and return to headquarters? This thing is so noisy. He reaches out to turn off the oscilloscope, but Winsong stops him. Leave it on. It'll be too quiet here without it. I've had to wrap up my expeditions in the Arctic Circle. After this storm passes, I'll head back to headquarters. I need to organize the data I've collected and give a ley lines lecture there. If you're planning to leave, we could head there together. I haven't decided yet. Perhaps I've grown accustomed to this undisturbed life. The peace and quiet help me reflect on the era and the storm.
Peace and quiet? You didn't even realize the next storm was already on its way.
Winsong lets out a playful whistle.
Not looking too good, my friend. Your long vacation has taken its toll on you.
You should return to headquarters, do some real work, and get back into shape. And don't forget to bring some reunion gifts for your team members. Okay. You agree with me, don't you, little guy? Surprisingly, the oscilloscope responds even more empathetically to her words. Oh god, okay. What? Ulrich buries his head in the display. The little ball of ferrofluid trembles with the frequency of the signals. This frequency, it isn't right. He grabs his notes from the desk and quickly scans his records. February's records. No, October's. Here it is, but it doesn't match at all. Winsong reflexively pulls out a pencil and notebook, only to realize she has nothing to write down. Did you find something? The amplitude of all these signals is increasing. The peaks and throws of the new waveforms are nearly maxing out the instrument's display. Has the regularity been disrupted? Indeed, the probability of a familiar pattern appearing has dropped significantly. The randomness of the waveforms is rapidly increasing. Could it really be reacting to what we're saying? No. There's no reason it should respond to what we say. And you know, I've never believed this thing isn't awakened. What if this thing is how they're gonna be... Oh, what if this thing is gonna be how they're discovering when the storm is approaching? Okay. Even now, I've almost given up on that hypothesis. That's a relief. Then, what exactly is going on right now? Has something changed? The ferrofluid shoots upright, forming an exclamation mark. It's the storm. It's directly affecting it.
Our holiday is over.
Uh-huh. We're going back home. Interesting. Is this the little thing? This random little thing he found on his vacation that is gonna lead to them having a storm detection system? Interesting. Very interesting. But alright, next one. Humanitarian approach. Is he gonna do the humanitarian approach finally? Is he gonna finally understand what it means? Cryptography room, Laplace. Okay, we're back home. It's an ordinary workday like any other. Uh-huh. Dora hums a cheerful tune as she dusts the equipment with a handheld static duster. Without warning, the lab door opens. Her worried face is amazing. Dora, what are you doing? A long absent figure appears in the doorway. Ulrich? She hastily flings the duster to the workbench beside her. I thought you'd know better than to throw things onto the workbench by now. I'm just a little surprised. Fair enough. But still, take care of the equipment. These integrated circuit machines just keep getting more expensive. Ulrich briefly steps out before returning with a heavy piece of computing equipment. What's this? A gaming console for the team. It comes preloaded with a ping pong league, Super Spaceman, and Leviathan in the deep sea maze. What? What? Excuse me? It can also serve as a versatile development platform. You can design your own games on it. So, what's it doing here? The image before her is almost surreal. It's a gift. I bought it for the team. Oh, right, yeah. Right, yeah. He was supposed to bring gifts. Oh, that's kind of funny. Before Dora can react, Ulrich has turned and left once again. He quickly returns, this time carrying a smaller device, the oscilloscope. He carefully places it on the workbench. I have to admit, taking such a long holiday was an irresponsible act of negligence on my part. No, Lead, I think,
I'd like to apologize for my absence. There's no excuse for spending so much time at the retreat center and neglecting my work here.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and say that while he was on holiday, despite the fact that the researchers here were probably working normally, they probably felt like they were on a holiday. It's fine. I've already submitted a request to Madame Lucy. For the next 36 months, I will forfeit all personal salary and benefits. Wow. Wow. I knew it. Don't tell me. And I'll compensate for the loss caused by my absence by doubling the work hours.
No!
I hope you're talking about your own work hours. Ulrich seems deaf to Dora's protests, moving straight to the point. He plugs the oscilloscope in and turns it on. From now on, the cryptography team will take on a new long-term task. I require each team member to independently propose a framework for classifying the waveforms from this oscilloscope without discussing it with each other. This secrecy is paramount in covering any blind spots in my methods. But I haven't been briefed on anything. No need. Get to work right away. I'll show you how it's done. Minigame. That's the long and short of it. Alright. For all of you, identifying the initial patterns should be a simple task. Yes, Lead. The real challenge lies in how to deal with the chaotic parts, the ones without any pattern. I'll do my best Do you understand? It's all down to the team. Once you're all proficient enough, we can expand to larger scale statistical work. I've identified one set of signals from the previous work, the decryption key. It can control the shielding switch, disabling the shielding device to unlock more pathways for receiving signals. Okay, the decryption key is a special decryption signal on its own. It cannot activate the receivers. Connect the decryption key to the shielding switch to turn it off. After the shielding switch is off, the shielding device blocking the signal will be disabled. Signals can disrupt each other. An existing signal will take priority and block any new signal that crosses into its path. Place a component here to block off its signal, giving priority to the one on the left. Use the interface component to block other signals and give the key priority, allowing it to extend into the shielding switch. Okay, I get it. So, poop. Alright. Okay. Ah, okay, I see. So block this off so this one gets priority, because it's crossing the path already. Block this one and then it goes further. Alright, I see. There we go. Okay, this one's an interesting one. Alright, back in the room. The work on the oscilloscope quickly becomes a part of the team's routine daily tasks. Unfortunately, today's research still yields no progress.
Would you like to hear my thoughts on the oscilloscope, sir?
Go ahead. Maybe it really is just a broken machine, like most of the equipment we've cleared out and stored in the repair room. But the storm noticeably impacted the readings. That's highly unusual. No, it's actually quite ordinary. The storm interferes with all arcane phenomena. Clearly, arcane technology was involved in building this instrument. Of course, it's connected to the storm. Almost everything is. This answer does little to satisfy Ulrich. So you're saying it isn't unique? Precisely. We need more evidence before we can come to that conclusion. But the uniqueness you suggest isn't supported by any current evidence. Before any rebuttal can come, she continues. You plan to establish different array systems to correlate changes between information patterns. But this method won't eliminate all errors. We'll be forced to acknowledge the inherent chaos of the system. We could spend immense computational power exploring every possibility for half a century and still end up with nothing. Ulrich's silence suggests he has already considered these issues. We could request more resources to address the problems you mentioned. That would require submitting a dedicated research project application, including a preliminary evaluation of personnel, funding, and equipment. It won't be easy to justify the research value, and we can't just turn the whole cryptography team into an oscilloscope cryptography unit. Where would you find people with the necessary time and expertise to join the project? How about Enigma?
Wait!
Even she seems surprised by her sudden bout of inspiration. I know just the person. Uh-huh, Enigma? Corridor Laplace. Is he better again? Dora strides purposefully down the corridor, like a deer charging through the forest. Ulrich jogs behind her. She comes to a stop in front of a closed door. Just as she's about to ring the bell, Ulrich intercepts her. A word of warning, Dora. Enigma has been a recluse for years. Any attempts to communicate with him won't end well.
Come on. He deserves a chance just like anyone else.
I've dealt with, worse characters, you know? Those awful old math professors who take pleasure in insulting students. I've picked up a few tricks, don't you worry. That was an interesting soundbite. She takes a few deep breaths to slow her racing heart. When she speaks again, her tone is entirely different, like someone trying to persuade a child to do something. Oh god.
What's this? New puzzle games! Wanna give it a try, Adler?
If this works. This is absurd. She coughs before switching to a more formal tone.
We're facing a serious problem that requires your expertise, Mr. Adler. I trust it falls within your responsibilities to assist us with this matter.
Uh-huh. You'll only laugh in the face of such fabrication. Her tone shifts again, this time sounding like a restaurant server.
Mr. Adler, a messy room isn't doing your mental state any good. Let our Cleanup for Mental Clarity group give you a hand.
That one doesn't even have any work-related information. Finally, her tone becomes exasperated.
So what's your brilliant idea then?
We shouldn't focus on how to communicate. No, we should focus on how to complete the task with as little communication as possible. Why don't you organize the materials, open the door, drop the documents on the floor and leave? Then you can check back later to see if there's any progress. What the fuck? Well, that's a method, I guess. What a convincing solution. Then we're in agreement. Ulrich knows the sarcasm in her voice, steps forward and rings the bell. At that moment, the door swings open. Oh. Fuck's sake. Every single time. This is gonna get me every single time, I swear. Huh? An unexpected figure stands in the doorway.
Good day, Madam Hoffman. I didn't expect you to be here.
The honor is mine, though I don't believe we've met.
Miss Hoffman.
Long time no see. This is Dora, a research assistant in the cryptography team. A hint of surprise colors Hoffman's face. Ulrich, so your holiday is over? Yes, I just returned to headquarters. Were you looking for Adler? Dora quickly takes over the conversation. Yes, the cryptography team hopes to enlist his help. Hoffman gives a soft sigh, visibly wary.
I think?
Now is not a good time to approach him. Adler is unwell. Understood. In such a situation, no one would inquire about the specifics of his condition. Ah, does he have a bacterial infection from being in a confined space for so long? It isn't a bacterial infection. Dora takes a quick step forward, putting herself between Ulrich and Hoffman. Madam Hoffman, is there anything we can do to help?
Of course.
There is something I've been considering.
Adler's birthday is coming up.
Birthday?
He's turning 28, but I'll be on a field mission to the Flannan Isles on the date.
Hey, that's where she goes to, goes and finds, Marcus. I'd like someone to deliver a gift to him on my behalf on that day. This seems like a good opportunity for Dora to break the ice with him.
Absolutely, Madam Hoffman. Leave it to us.
It's appreciated. Thank you.
I'll send the gift to you later. Hoffman, satisfied with the arrangements, leaves at once. Looks like we've been handed a good opportunity. Ulrich feels as though a rock has smashed through his tank. He instinctively pats the glass, checking that it's still intact. Ah, my boy. What exactly have you agreed to? To socializing. That's what she agreed to. Alright. Well, only 3 nodes left. How are we gonna wrap this up? A not so happy birthday. Oh god. Oh god, wait. When did Hoffman die again? I mean, yeah, she dies after she gets acquainted with Marcus and everything, but I'm thinking of was it confirmed if she died around her brother's birthday or something? I can't remember. Let's see. This might this might turn very dank in a second. Adler's office. The door creaks open, stirring up a small cloud of dust. Luckily, this visitor has no need to breathe. The office's occupant hides behind a towering stack of papers, paying little attention to the intruder. Visiting hours are over, and you don't have an appointment.
Please, get out.
There is no such thing as visiting hours here. But I still have the right to control my private space. Might I remind you that fundamentally an office is a semi-public space? Treating it as a private property is the result of primal, animalistic instincts, and a serious violation of regulations. Theoretical physics research requires quiet, not people walking around and shouting at one another. The sound of a scratching pencil comes from behind the papers, as if Enigma were finishing a crossword puzzle. But you haven't submitted a single academic paper of value in 7 years, nor made any other kind of contribution. How long do you intend to indulge in this humanitarian management idleness? You can't even keep the room clean! Oh, so you've returned from holiday as a sanitation inspector, have you? I'm still the leader of the God, that word is so hard to say, I keep stumbling every single time over it. Cryptography team. During my absence and since my return, the team has been running efficiently. The number of internal complaints I've received has significantly decreased. You should give your work report to the tin can, not me. Now leave. For the sake of his promise to Hoffman and his responsibilities as a leader, Ulrich recites the urge to walk out.
I had no desire to be here, but I gave my word to Miss Hoffman.
Her? I'm here! Dora bursts into the room, 2 cardboard boxes in her arms. She places the boxes on top of the already massive pile of paper. Sorry I'm late.
Great, another one. Welcome. Make yourself at home. What's next? A full orchestra? A clown jumping out and serenading me?
Sure, why not? Well, not exactly.
Happy 28th birthday, Mr. Adler.
The sound of tearing paper fills the room as a crumpled calendar page is thrown over the stack of paper on the desk. Thanks for the reminder. I'd almost forgotten. As her enthusiasm deflates, she gives a pleading look to Ulrich. He responds with an annoyed shake of his head. Mr. Adler, I brought something for you. Yes, the boxes you so kindly already piled on my desk. One is signed by Greta Hoffman. Who's the other one for? For you, of course. She quickly unwraps it for him. Oh, 28 candles! Come on. Come on, really? Really? That is excessive and I love it. What happened to it? What is this? It's the birthday cake Dora prepared. I assume you haven't so utterly detached yourself from society that you don't understand its significance. She lets out a helpless scream. Who put so many candles on it? Let's see. 28. Genius. It took a precise calculation to fit 28 candles, but oh, he did it! Ulrich, I didn't know you had a sense for humor, you bastard. It took a precise calculation to fit 28 candles perfectly on the cake. Let me tell you.
This is not happening.
There's no need to worry about your health, Dora. There's no evidence that ingesting paraffin and a small amount of dye causes any illness. Right. What we should be worrying about is carbon dioxide poisoning. No, that's not the problem. It's that...
I can't even look at it.
It looks amazing. What do you want? She hurriedly recloses the cake box. Sorry, Mr. Adler. I'll get you a new one. No need. I'll eat this one. Then, considering the fire hazard, let's skip lighting the candles. But we still have to sing the song. I even learned the German version. Oh, she's a sweetheart. I understand English. By the way, when will your enthusiasm end? It's a magical song, don't you think? It sounds cheerful in any language. Are they actually gonna sing it? Oh my god. She takes a deep breath. Please do it in German.
Zum Geburtstag viel Glück. Zum Geburtstag viel Glück. Zum Geburtstag, lieber Adler. Zum Geburtstag viel Glück.
I am grinning like a motherfucker right now. That was well said as well. What the shit? That barely had any like English accent in there. Damn, respect. The final note hangs in the air before crashing to the ground like a solitary raindrop. Come on, you two. Oh, God, these fuckers. I swear I want to punch them sometimes or slap them. Silence. Come on, one of you. All three of them in total silence. I feel so bad for her. Oh, come on. From the birth of the universe to the heat depth of all things, there has not been and will never be a silence so profound. Sure, how about the profound silence in Iberia and Arcanists? Was my German off? No, you were perfect. My dear, you were perfect. Enigma glances at the cake on the paper pile, his expression resembling someone who has just swallowed a worm. Also, all props to the voice actress if she's pure English and has no idea of German, but studied how to do the song in proper German, because, again, barely any English accent in there. That was great.
Is anyone going to tell me what's going on here?
It's your birthday, you dingus!
Am I the one losing my mind here, or is it you two?
No, it's you.
This room is chaotic enough as it is. Leave, and don't come back.
Good that you acknowledge that. Now clean it up. The heavy atmosphere seems to have created an unresolvable standoff. All attempts to social interaction have ended in dismal failure, like a well-intended ship crashing into an iceberg. Goodbye, Titanic. No one wants to blow out unlit birthday candles. But...
We've done all that we can. Let's go, Dora.
Aww. She went through so much effort, you dingus. Good old Enigma. Good old Enigma. What can you do? What can you do? Ergodicity? What the shit is ergodicity? Ergodicity is in mathematics. Ergodicity expresses the idea that a point of a moving system, either a dynamical system or a stochastic process, will eventually visit all parts of the space in which the system moves in a uniform and random sense. This implies that the average behavior of the system can be deduced from the trajectory of the typical point. Equivalently, a sufficiently large collection of random samples from a process can represent the average statistical properties of the entire process. Ergodicity is a property of the system. It is a statement that the system cannot be reduced or factored into smaller components. Ergodic theory is the study of systems possessing ergodicity. Okay, I'm presuming this is gonna lead to something, whatever the hell they're about to discover from the oscilloscope. Okay, cryptography room. Among the tedium of their daily work, the not-so-happy birthday party is gradually forgotten. The investigators' analysis reports on unknown incantations have been sorted. Dora places a stack of papers from forms on the desk and retrieves a floppy disk from her pocket. This disk contains known incantations similar to the ones the investigator reported. We can use it as a reference during our deciphering. Very helpful indeed, Dora. Ulrich takes the report from the top of the pile and gives it a quick look over. These incantations seem rather common. I'll process the information as soon as possible. As for the time needed to decode them, I can't give an estimate, as always. We'll take it one step at a time. Ulrich stands in his usual spot by the workbench, a steaming cup of coffee nearby. The oscilloscope lies quietly in the corner of the room. Only the cryptography team knows that this device isn't part of the lab's computing systems. Is the thing gonna start beeping in a second? After 8 hours of hard work, Ulrich puts down the paper and hits the save shortcut on the keyboard. Let's call it a day. Ulrich writes a few notes on a pad and sticks it to the base of the monitor, a long-standing end-of-day ritual. Dora, who has been quietly waiting nearby, suddenly squats down as if responding to a signal. Impressive, Lead. You've clocked out on time for 47 consecutive days. It's my duty to prioritize the health of my team members, and of course, I need to rest too. Look at him! He learned! He plugs the brown noise channel into his neck, and calming music designed for his kind reverberates inside a glass tank. Rejuvenated, Ulrich glances at the oscilloscope in the corner of the room. You can head out for the day. I'm going to reorganize the oscilloscope's historical data. It hasn't emitted any new signals since the last storm. You'll just be cycling through the same old data. Maybe there's still something of value to be found, though of course I don't expect to find much. Do you need help? Ulrich unplugs the music cable to ensure he heard her correctly. You want to stay? Yes. I've removed the work on oscilloscope cryptography from the team calendar. It's my personal problem now. No need to spend your time on it.
Go on ahead. I'll stay a little longer.
You won't get any overtime pay. I know, but until you figure out what's going on with that little thing, you'll never be able to rest. For the sake of the whole team, let's just get this personal problem over with, shall we? Oh my god, my ears! Every single time this thing beeps. Honestly, this feels more like physical labor than mathematics. The more forms and patterns we organize, the more possibilities arise, and the more options we have to sift through in the end. Most data cryptography involves this kind of process. Just think of it as a little game to relax with after work, rather than a physical job. After that, even if we discover this is just an elaborate years-long prank, we won't suffer too much disappointment. As you wish, Lead. The signal is being interfered by many shielding devices. Let's hope we've got enough key signal transmitters. Okay. The letter in the upper left of the icons shows the correspondence between shielding devices and their respective switches. The letter in the... make good use of the signal amplifier to boost these signals and decrypt the devices. Okay. Okay. So B needs to go to... Okay. I see. I see. There we go. Easy peasy. Today's results, like those of the past few years, amount to nothing. But both Ulrich and Dora have grown accustomed to the fruitlessness of this work.
Let's call it a day.
Don't waste any more of our time. See you tomorrow, Lead. Dora packs up her belongings as she prepares to leave. Ulrich pours the remainder of the coffee from the team's shared pot and drinks it, grit and all. They each carry out their usual end-of-day routines, just like any ordinary day. Dora opens the lab door to reveal an unexpected visitor.
Very well.
Holy shit, Lucy spook with a face. Very well. You are both here. Clearly today isn't an ordinary day. The alarm blares alongside the whining of machines. Madam Lucy? We are in an emergency situation. Foundation investigator Marcus has sent back information from Vienna about the leader of Manus Vindicte's immunity. To the storm. The entire cryptography team is to focus on decoding the incantation, effective immediately. Oh, this is where we are right now. Oh no. Dora is the one who gets dusted. Oh no. Oh god, the final one. Nebular Hypothesis. Okay. Let's see how this ends. Office Square Foundation.
Look at this.
He's still here.
Oh dear!
Clearly, Ulrich's ability to enact a hunger strike has been severely underestimated, even by his fellow strikers who have all since given up.
Reinstate Madam Lucy! End her suspension!
Ah, this is where we are right now. He periodically voices his demands, only to be met with silence. Again! In his head... Is his head clamped between two neodymium magnets or something? Let's go. They shoot Ulrich a brief, dismissive glance before hastily leaving. Damn it! 10 minutes have passed, with no new sympathizers joining Ulrich's cause. In the bustling plaza outside the committee building, Ulrich has become the center of a circular no-man's land of a few meters in radius. Half an hour later, the morning rush subsides, and the square is left mostly empty. Only a few latecomers, leisurely clutching their coffees, stroll by. Oh, Enigma? A burst of hurried footsteps echoes through the square, getting louder and louder. These steps seem to be coming straight for Ulrich. No use trying to stop me. I won't be swayed by any appeasement tactics. He turns, fully prepared for a showdown with the Foundation.
Just get back in there.
Adler?
Who could have expected this? Don't you see I'm... Yes, hunger striking. How very clever of you. Who else would possibly think of such a genius idea?
What are you planning on doing? Waiting out here until the whole thing crumbles under its own weight?
I can't leave until I get some results. It would be an outright declaration of the LSCC's political defeat. Enigma grits his teeth in frustration. Defeat? Madame Lucy is gone, and the LSCC is still struggling to find a suitable successor. How much more defeat could we be? The power plays are over. There's nothing left for the little people like us to do. Even if you stand here all year, you'll just become a statue like any other. No one in this great institution will even glance at you. Besides, I'm not handling all the piled up paperwork for you. That was never my responsibility to begin with. Great, then let entropy take over the LSCC. I'm sure it won't take long for the lab to spawn its own Big Bang. My goal isn't to plunge the LSCC into chaos. Even doing the tiniest bit of actual work would make that statement more convincing. Like finally figuring out that oscilloscope that you still seem to know almost nothing about. Uh-huh. Interesting reaction to that. Okay, back in the cryptography room. How do you know about the oscilloscope? It's not exactly inconspicuous. In a crucial place for decoding incantations, there's a machine that's utterly useless, and no one knows what it's for. Meanwhile, a magnetic tape beside it contains years of research notes on the thing. You've read the research notes? Before Ulrich can make a case for the invasion of his privacy, a new possibility catches his attention. Enigma picks up a pristine notebook, already filled with letters and symbols. Not only did I read them, I added a few notes of my own. I have to say, some of your early hypotheses were laughable. Potential awakened. That was simply raised out of courtesy. Clearly, such considerations are beneath you. Ulrich snatches the notebook from Enigma's hands. Enigma gives no resistance. The writing on the pages is dizzying. This isn't standard mathematical or logical notation. What exactly have you written here? I need better tools to sort out my cryptography process before this little notebook runs out of pages. A glimmer of hope flickers through Ulrich's circuits.
Did you manage to crack those codes?
Enigma is well prepared to deflect such heavy expectations. I'm not some kind of character who shows up at the end of the story to magically fix all the protagonist's problems. I only managed to uncover one issue. He takes the notebook from Ulrich, flipping to a page marked with red annotations. After the 6th storm, the oscilloscope stopped generating new data. The final segment of information is unlike anything that came before it. I'm surprised how deaf you are to news outside the LSCC. Look here, 1966. Almost simultaneously with the oscilloscope's signal cut off, an LSCC satellite fell out of orbit. Okay, the satellite, yeah, The fact that the two coincide suggests that this oscilloscope may be a receiver for a satellite signal. I hadn't noticed that coincidence, but we can already rule out that possibility. A receiver wouldn't have repeatedly received signals from the same satellite across multiple storms. What about when the world was in eras before the invention of the satellite? Where did the oscilloscope's signal originate from then? A silent smirk tugs at Enigma's lips.
Haven't we only just found a way to survive the storm?
I see where this is going. This is going to the satellite that was mentioned, that was protected by that record that belonged to, or should belong rather, to Regulus, right? It was receiving signals from there. That's how this story will fit into Last Evenings on Earth. Okay. Oh boy, I can put the switches down now. Okay, sure. If this is truly a satellite signal receiver, we'll need to use this new perspective to solve the issue. But that's just a hypothesis. Exactly. It's about as valid as your awakened hypothesis, don't you think? Assuming it was built based on the LSCC's aerospace engineering standards, its encryption methods should have discernible patterns. We can extract information fragments and cross-reference them with existing encoding standards. Then we can iterate through all possibilities. Perhaps we need to keep existing encoding standards in mind, and manually adjust the shielding device's decryption sequence to something workable. Tap here to view all components and their functions. Yeah, I know about this. Right. And this is just name and letter, huh? Okay. Okay, let's see how we're doing this. There we go. Okay, that was the trick, playing around with these to block it for a second and then re-enable it. Alright, got it. Done. Okay. No words. The very room itself seems to be holding its breath. The two figures watch in silence, their silhouettes reflected on the main display among the numbers undergoing analysis. A crisp and exhilarating signal.
It's done.
The two of them lean closer to the monitor. The number sequence translated by the new algorithm has passed the verification program. From the first to the last character, every fragment aligns with an existing pattern. In simple terms, we've eliminated the garbled pieces of data from the original signal. This sequence must be decipherable. If it's from a satellite, then... what could it be? What kind of data would the satellite transmit back to Earth? Enigma bends over the keyboard, typing furiously. Have you got an idea? It's not hard to guess. Satellite data would undoubtedly include images. Oh yeah, this is where they're gonna get all those images from. Why? Every space agency desperate for public findings tries to take pictures for the moment their satellite gets into orbit. Because clueless bureaucrats and the media can only understand where the money went when they see a colorful picture. So this string of transmitted data must decode into an image. Enigma hits the final enter key with a dramatic flourish, accidentally triggering the room's light switch in the process. Good job. Okay. Ooh, shit, hi.
We've done it.
I see an image of a galaxy reflected in his in his bulb. Alright. The CRT monitor works tirelessly, painting a vibrantly oversaturated nebula across its screen.
I never would have expected this.
Even these two rational scholars can't help but marvel at the surreal brilliance of the image.
A photo from space. Then there must be more. Which nebula is that?
No clue. Better to leave that to the astronomers. But here, see the timestamps?
2004? So then the satellite hasn't been affected by the storm.
We only managed to produce the first equilibrium umbrella days ago. Who could have built this satellite?
Yeah, wasn't the solution to the years that the satellite just kept counting the years moving onwards? Like, its internal clock just kept ticking forwards. It wasn't actually actually taking pictures from the actual years beyond the year 1999, but it was just taking pictures and assigning dates to them based on its internal clock, because the clock got never adjusted to the new time period it's in, or something like that.
Could it be that some engineer made it immune to the storm entirely by accident?
That's as unlikely as you starving to death. Or perhaps...
Perhaps it was something on board that protected it. Something naturally immune to the storm, with no need for any input or modifications.
Alright.
Something that would undoubtedly help us decipher the storm itself.
And that's how they get the Regulus record. Yep, this is where it ends. Okay, interesting. So this is a lead-up story into Ulrich's mission during the events of Last Evenings on Earth. The telecom tech. That is very funny. All right, nice. That's all the rewards as well, and that is all for the story. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. So yeah, this was how they discovered all of that. That was kind of the story that was kind of partially just addressed. That I found. Wait, did they actually? I don't think they actually mentioned the oscilloscope. They mentioned that they found the satellite and they found the record on it and everything else from there. I don't remember if they mentioned the oscilloscope. Maybe I forgot. But okay, this makes this fills in a very interesting blank, which now raises the question of where is this oscilloscope from? Who made it? And why was it forgotten in that room? Probably a thing that was made by someone who was reversed by the storm, and then obviously just forgotten because no one was doing anything with that data. Probably the personnel that was responsible for that very satellite got all reversed by the storm, and just no one was looking at the data and knew how to decipher the received images and signals from the satellite and everything. But yeah, very interesting. Very, 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 very interesting, however. And very lucky for all of them. But yeah, there's also so many custom-made devices that function on formulas and stuff like that one person will conduct, and if they never leave like behind like a manual or something how this and that thing is used and what it does, it just gets so forgotten by time and space. It's so ridiculous. This is not the only... This is literally like a lot of real-life things work. People leave behind blueprints and mathematical formulas and then they never explain them how they work. They just wrote them down and something happened to them and they're just gone, forgotten by time. But yeah, that is this story for Ulrich now. Very interesting. Also, he finally seems to have gotten a bit how humans work and that they need breaks throughout the whole experience, which is good. But we're not done yet, of course. Next stop is to check out Ulrich's full file and voice files, because I haven't done that yet, so let's do that. What? Okay, I'm clicking away. No. Nope. Okay, let's pretend I never saw that. Anyway, also, yeah, of course he wasn't part of that very same patch, but now that I have the opportunity, I can include this into that story bit. So let's see, buddy. Ulrich. An Awaken's work, exhibited in the 1940s for an unknown period, completed in the spring on May 30th, originally exhibited in the USA, and later moved to the Laplace Scientific Computing Center. Alright, interesting. Of course, also unknown period, makes sense for him. Medium thought current inspired a rhythm of wisdom, intelligence, decipherment. Okay, fragrance note. Woody essential oil, metal, fur, calcium. Of course. What else? Alright, buddy, let's hear it. Man, it's been so long. What was your first encounter sentence?
Procedural info, risk assessment, voluntary participation statement, and the all-important consent page. Just sign here, and we can get on with the experiment. I've been waiting for this day. We all have.
The consent
Don't
page.
forget to sign here, too. We need it in duplicate. Standard procedure, you understand.
Sure.
Glare, from my head. I'm sorry, I had no idea. A quick coat of paint should do the trick, though some of our colleagues are quite particular about maintaining appearances. I suppose I'll just have to avoid direct sunlight for now.
Easy solution.
The Earth's churning core maintains her magnetic field, and the isolines of magnetic declination drift over time. Maybe she's sending us a message, waiting for us to decipher it. Who's to say this giant floating rock isn't an awakened?
Oh my god, that's a scary thought. Oh my god, that is a scary thought. No thanks.
All right, I understand. Breaks are important. These meaningless administrative tasks are rather draining, even for me. Thankfully, I don't need as much rest as my fleshy counterparts. I'll get the job done while you unwind.
Good for you, buddy. I wish I had the endurance of an awakened.
You've made it in. Actually, the lock opens to any code, but the ticking timer on it, that's what gets people scratching their heads. Most locks with the timer attached have a self-destruct program, you see. One wrong try, and you're locked out for good.
Okay. Alright.
There's no better way to start the day than with Laplace's monthly journal. In fact, I've annotated a few of the more fascinating papers. I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts on them. Oh, don't mind me. I'm just recording the routines of the suitcase's inhabitants for future use, and, well, because I'm curious. It's going to be a long process. It could take years to gather enough data to create an accurate profile. Don't worry. Your routine is far from the most extreme I've seen.
Thanks, I guess.
While I have no need to eat, I still sit at the dinner table during our 10-minute dinner break and chat with my colleagues. That's right, 10 minutes is more than sufficient for any Laplace employee. Frankly, the Foundation's people spend far too much time eating meals.
Leave us alone, let us eat.
I've noticed that intellectually stimulating activities are more effective in team bonding. That's why I've put this together. All problems and no solutions. Laplace's greatest questions, bound volume. According to my observations, more than 90% of readers experience an increased heart rate when working through it.
Gee, I wonder why.
Madame Lucy pointed out that physical features such as a large head often evoke friendly responses from human colleagues. I've traveled in other containers too. A thermos, a glasses case. Oh, but the worst by far was a cola bottle. The syrup at the bottom almost trapped me in there. I felt like a bug stuck in tar.
God. Okay, that is terrifying. That is probably very terrifying for him.
Yes, body language. I was just reading about it a few days ago. Hand contact is often perceived as warm and friendly, and it's an effective way to show support. A very useful technique indeed, especially since, whether through choice or circumstance, many of our researchers struggle with communication.
Yes.
Since I don't have any limbs, this body was designed to replicate human architecture and hold a suitable number of appliances. I learned the hard way how important it is to have every tool on hand, especially after the iron and 3 toasters incident.
The what now? The iron and 3 toasters incident? What? I need more info.
Hobbies. I used to write work in that column of the staff member survey until someone pointed out I was causing the team stress. So, to show my genuine intent to encourage a positive atmosphere, I've changed it to attending to my colleagues' feelings.
His unintentional humor is amazing.
Clear communication is crucial to the success of any team, And I must say, it's almost a miracle how well you've got everyone working together despite their different backgrounds and perspectives. Your leadership is exceptional.
Yes.
Because of my enthusiasm, I have to transfer to a new one of these every now and then. The process is horribly uncomfortable. But X seems to think it's the perfect time to indulge in his sense of humor. Could you be there next time? I could really use some backup.
Transfer to a glass bowel head, I guess? Funny. That's actually very funny.
Oh, no, I'm not in a wrestling match with the speaker. Quite the contrary. I'm getting a delightful massage from the piano concerto it's playing.
Okay.
What would happen if I placed a giant magnet at head level? Well, theoretically, I'd get pulled toward it and smack the edge of my tank. Wait, that gives me an idea. Come on, grab that notebook and I'll walk us through the setup.
What? What idea? What? What are you doing? Huh?
I spent quite some time figuring out how to rest and what it really means to be lonely. I still struggle to take breaks. And loneliness, well, I suppose I don't mind it all that much. Of course, I wouldn't seek to be alone, but I've definitely learned to appreciate solitude.
Alright.
Yep, I'm taking all the equipment. Can't pass up the chance to collect first-hand data in a real battle. Battles can be just as informative as codes. You just have to know how to read them. Alright, time to crack some codes. I'll handle the tech support. All thoroughly calculated. A perfect algorithm. One that can only exist in theory. Decode complete. According to my calculations, the perfect solution. Encryption complete. Enumeration is a last resort, but sometimes it can work a miracle.
These are always the funniest when they get hit.
That doesn't sound good.
Mm-hmm.
Another perfect combination of reason and passion. Ferrofluid, a substance that's fluid in form and constant in its magnetic nature. As you can see, no matter how I shift and change, I never lose the essence of who I am.
Indeed.
This isn't as tricky as I thought. All I have to do is tackle the problem in front of me, solve it, and move on to the next.
Of course. Okay, that was funny. Again, this guy's just an unintentional comedian. As long as you don't work for him, then it's horror. Anyway, let's see. Sound strap. Where is that thing placed on his body? Sound strap? Huh? Like around his arms or something? Maybe on the base model? Where's his base model? Oh, it's the belt. Okay. Sound strap. The sound strap connected to an all-in-one toolbox primarily assists in record playing by amplifying sound waves radiation to archive optimal coverage. After a week of testing this strap, a warning note is left on the interviewee's desk. Okay. All-in-one portable toolbox. I love how every single piece of him is invaluable. A multi-functional toolbox designed for storm sampling, which also serves as a record player. For artificial storm experiments and Antarctic research, it's a key piece of equipment, but for the interviewee, it tends to see most use as a wait for fitness training. I would, yes. Just a tank, or is it? A sealed spherical silica container, equipped with an audio system and yellow oil-based solution. It satisfies the Awakened's desire for communication while ensuring his mobility within the tank. During interviews, we noted that a mirror accident seemed to have occurred during the device's production, though the interviewee cautiously avoided this topic. A mirror? Mirror. Minor accident. Okay. I wonder what that is about. Okay, and the story. The first rhythm. Electric fields, magnetic fields, gravity fields. Particles, charged particles moving through magnetic fields. From the moment physics began to objectively exist, consciousness started drifting through the material space of physical law. Time was once insignificant, but as it passed, people accumulated enough knowledge to break into the laws themselves, peeling back the layers of how the world works inch by inch. Then, one day, whether it was the discovery of electromagnetic induction or the moment the first computer gave off its low hum, or when magnetohydrodynamics became its own discipline, the first rhythm greeted the world for the very first time from within a physics lab. An exclamation mark! Okay, so the discovery or birth or the consciousness suddenly awakening Ulrich, I guess. Alright, Humanoid Body Design Project Work Log. Project ID. Please enter Project ID. Department Employee Welfare Support Division. Project Lead Annie Schumacher. Okay. Does she drive a red car? Confidentiality level internal access. Internal access only. June 24th. Helped John from engineering transplant the alien awakened new hire into a glass fish tank sealed spherical silicon container. The new hire showed a strong liking for the oil-based carrier fluid, forming magnetic solid particles into a ripple pattern. Okay. July 6th. John from engineering applied for additional leave after the 4th of July, so installation of the voice module will be delayed another 2 days. Hopefully the new hire isn't too put out over it. Not that it matters, without Madame Lucy around, I can't make sense of the expressions on their display anyways. July 8th. The voice module has been installed. Following the precedent of Madame Lucy, we set the initial voice model to that of a young woman. Okay. July 9th. That's kind of funny to think about that he sounded like a woman first. July 9th. We've officially started on the young male voice model. The feminine traits on the humanoid body need to be removed too, and based on user feedback, we're swapping the exterior material for an electrostatically absorbent silicon. Isn't this just starting over from scratch? The new design has nothing to do with the original frame. When is this project going to end? I'm thinking of transferring to the canteen catering R&D section. I'm supposed to be doing welfare and support, not advanced robotics. Huh, very funny. So, okay, so the male body and the male voice thing comes from actually Ulrich himself. Alright. Interview. Consider it confirmation. As an awakened, how did you come to discover your abilities in code breaking? Not to sound accusatory, I only mean to ask whether you had formally studied the subject before joining Laplace. I didn't study it in any official manner, but my interest stemmed from my arcane skills. Though they are not directly related to code breaking, they were what sparked my interest in the pursuit. Would you mind sharing just how it is your skills assist you? Of course, the simple explanation is that I can harness the power of nearby electronic devices to help me perform calculations. So, any device can act like a computer for you? Close, but not quite. I can't alter their circuitry, only use them as auxiliary brains to assist me in processing. That said, being an awakened doesn't mean I can directly understand the voices of machines. I have to spend time deciphering their ultrasonic waves, spin, drive frequencies, blink counts. Eventually, I realized that the steps I take to compute things have a lot in common with human cryptography. And now you're the head of the cryptography team. Working under an awakened must be quite a unique experience. I can't speak for my team, but I find cracking their expressions is often harder than cracking any code. Though I think I can say with confidence that they are not thrilled about how often I burn through our electronics. But I always ensure my target isn't another awakened. After all, we should all stand up for awakeneds' rights. That's very noble of you. I mean, he has a point. Very funny also to picture him as a as a spokesperson for the Awakened, fighting for their rights and everything. But okay, very interesting. So yeah, right. He can interface with other machines based on frequencies and stuff, and use other computers around himself as extra computing power. That's fascinating. That's actually very fascinating. Huh. Okay. All right. Huh. Interesting. I was trying to look up as usual if there's a character trailer for him, like they do, or for his story in here, but I guess there is nothing. I can only find like three officially released shorts on the on the official YouTube channel that are the first three results if I type in Ulrich. Okay, interesting. So no, I guess he doesn't get a character trailer even when he was released. Very funny. Really unorthodox release of a character. and the story and everything for him. But yeah, he's a fascinating guy. And again, really, really funny without even trying to be funny, which is even better. Which makes all things even better. But yeah, anyway, this is gonna be it for this part, I would say. Next time then we're gonna be checking out the story for Barcarola. And gonna see what that one is about. And also considering that Fatutu obviously doesn't have her own character story as an actual character story, it's an anecdote. The anecdote will have to wait in that regard for a tiny bit. Next time I'm gonna go through the Barcarola story. I will check out the minigame that also comes with that is themed, I guess, for Fatutu and her people or whatever the hell. But that's gonna be in the next episode. And Fatutu's anecdote I'm gonna look at some point in the future. But then after that episode, it's gonna be back to main story. Time for the next chapter. Time for the next chapter. And considering that the next patch is a main story patch, what are we looking at? We're looking at probably like, for my terms and purposes, probably like a solid 2 months of just main story catch-up. If they're gonna be including like 2 character stories from the main story in the next patch, I'm obviously gonna do those as well once they become available, because I do want to see what they're about, of course. But outside of that, it's pretty much after the next episode, it's pretty much gonna be a very solid run of main story for a good 2 months. with minimal breaks in between. With very minimal breaks in between. I still have to slot in the new gameplay mode as well, that has a timer on it. I don't know if the timer is there because it's gonna be gone after that or not, but one of the future episodes, probably like an episode in between main story sections, I'm gonna do that gameplay mode. But anyway, that is gonna be for the future. For now, this has been fascinating. Really enjoyed this one. It was very both funny and a tiny bit frustrating at times, with Ulrich trying to understand humans. But yeah, very interesting how the lead-up story worked towards the satellite and how they discovered it. Still leaves the old question of who the person was who was in charge of that that oscillator and the satellite, but I don't know if it's important to know who it was or not, but I guess we'll see in the future. They could always return to this and tell us who it specifically was. But anyway, those are things for whenever that comes around. For now, guys, thank you very much for watching and listening. Hope you enjoyed. If you did so, please consider leaving a like. It would help out a lot. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. And if you want to support me more directly, memberships are open on the channel. Like I always say, no video will be behind a membership. It's purely there for support. So thank you very much to all the members already doing so. Much appreciated. And I hope you all have a fantastic day wherever you are. And I will see you in the next one. Until then, bye-bye.